Evan Hale woke up to the sound of a soft humming, like a distant engine running in a metal tunnel. His eyes opened slowly, and the ceiling above him came into focus. It wasn't a normal ceiling. It glowed faintly with white lines, like veins of light running through dark metal. Everything looked strange, as if he had opened his eyes in a dream. He tried to sit up, but something felt wrong. His body felt heavier than usual, yet lighter at the same time. When he finally pushed himself up, he looked down and froze. He wasn't wearing his normal clothes. Instead, a glowing, smooth suit covered his entire body, arms, chest, legs, everything. It wasn't cloth. It wasn't metal. It looked almost alive. Soft pulses of blue ran across the surface like breaths. "What is this?" Evan whispered. He touched the suit. It felt warm, like touching skin instead of armor. And the moment his fingers brushed against it, the suit responded. A ripple of light passed across his chest, as if the suit knew he was awake. He tried to pull it away from his neck, but the suit didn't move. It was fused to him. Panic hit him. His heart raced, and the suit reacted again, this time tightening slightly, almost as if telling him to calm down. Evan forced himself to take a slow breath. He looked around the room again. The walls were curved like the inside of a giant egg. Strange devices lay broken on the floor, wires hanging down like vines. Smoke drifted through cracks and sparks popped from shattered panels. He remembered an explosion. He remembered running. Then nothing. "Where am I?" he whispered. A soft voice echoed through the room. "Human, do not move quickly." Evan spun around and saw her. A woman stood at the only doorway, but she was not human. Her skin looked like polished crystal, faintly blue, glowing softly in the dim light. Her eyes were bright silver, shimmering like stars in water. She wore a slim device across her forehead and a long, flowing garment that shifted color as she moved. She looked cautious, not hostile. "Who are you?" Evan asked, trying to stand. "Lyra Tesh," she answered softly, "scientist of the Lumeron Research Station." Her silver eyes scanned him. "You survived. That is unexpected." "Survived what?" Evan asked. "The reactor explosion," she said. "Our station suffered heavy damage. I found you collapsed near the containment lab." Evan tried to understand her words, but his attention kept returning to the suit stuck to his body. "Do you know what this thing is?" he asked. Her expression changed. She stepped closer, studying him with shock spreading across her crystal-like features. "The symbiote suit," she whispered. "Impossible." Evan blinked. "The what?" "That suit," she said, pointing. "It is not meant for humans. It was built for my people. It contains life support systems, energy fields, and adaptive protection. But it only bonds to a Lumeran." She paused. "It should not have accepted you." Evan tugged at the suit again. It didn't move at all. "And how do I take it off?" he asked. Lyra's expression became serious. Too serious. "You must not," she said at once. "Not here, not now, and not without the proper environment." Evan frowned. "Why not? I'm not wearing anything underneath. This thing is stuck to my skin." "I know," she replied. "And that is exactly why you cannot remove it. The suit bonds directly to the body. It fused to you to save your life. If you try to remove it by force, the energy field will collapse. You will lose oxygen and protection instantly." Her voice carried a quiet urgency, not a threat, a warning. Evan swallowed. "So I'm trapped in it?" "For now," Lyra said gently. "But you are alive because of it. Without that suit, you would have died seconds after the explosion." He looked down at himself. The suit hummed softly as if agreeing. Evan took a slow breath. He didn't want to admit it, but the idea of being saved by something alien felt strange, yet comforting. "What do we do?" he asked. Lyra moved to a console and tapped it, but the screen flickered with static. We must reach the core stabilizer, she said. Only there can we remove the suit safely. The stabilizer contains tools to detach it without harming you. Then let's go, Evan said, but Lyra shook her head. The path is dangerous. Half the station is unstable. The explosion woke the scavenger drones. They will attack anything that moves. Evan tried to stand fully. When he placed his feet on the ground, he felt a sudden surge of strength. His body felt lighter, faster, stronger. The suit adjusted to him instantly, fitting like a second skin. I think the suit is helping me, he said. Lyra studied him more closely. It is adapting to your nervous system. That should not be possible. Yet it is happening. She stepped closer and looked up at him. Her silver eyes reflected the blue glow of his suit. You may be able to reach the stabilizer. You may be the only one who can. Evan didn't know if he liked the sound of that, but he nodded. Then let's survive this. Together. Lyra hesitated, surprised by his confidence, but she nodded back. They left the damaged lab and entered a long corridor filled with drifting smoke. The lights flickered weakly. Parts of the ceiling had collapsed, leaving sharp metal and broken machinery scattered everywhere. Evan walked carefully, but the suit helped him move with strange balance and speed. It felt like walking with invisible support guiding his muscles. Lyra walked behind him, scanning the area with a handheld device. Human, she said softly. Your species is known for strength, but this is different. The suit increases your endurance. It enhances your reflexes. Evan ducked under a hanging pipe without thinking. The suit seemed to sense obstacles even before he saw them. It also helps me move before I decide to, Evan said. That is how it works with my people, Lyra replied. But I never imagined it could bond to a human. It should have rejected you. Evan slowed. Why didn't it? Lyra didn't answer for several seconds. She seemed to be thinking. Perhaps, she said finally, because you were dying. The suit saved you as a last action. It detected life in danger. Even if it did not understand human biology, it acted. He nodded. So we owe my life to a malfunction? A miracle, she corrected. As they moved deeper into the station, the noise grew louder, metal groaning, electrical sparks snapping, distant drones buzzing somewhere beyond the walls. Evan stopped suddenly. There's something ahead. The suit had warned him. A soft vibration ran across his chest. Lyra peeked around a broken corner. Drones, she whispered. They collect damaged materials and eliminate anything they consider a threat. Two spider-like machines crawled across the corridor, their metal legs clinking on the floor. Their glowing red eyes searched the darkness. Evan looked at Lyra. We can't turn back. No, she said. We cannot. Evan stepped forward, unsure if the suit could protect him. But the moment one drone spotted him and fired a small electric bolt, the suit formed a brief, shimmering shield over his body. The bolt hit and bounced off harmlessly. Lyra gasped. The suit is defending you. Encouraged, Evan moved faster. The suit enhanced his jump, letting him leap over debris. He grabbed a broken metal pipe and swung it like a bat. The drone shattered into pieces. The second drone tried to back away, but Evan ran at it with speed no normal human could match. With one strike, it broke apart. Lyra approached slowly, staring at him with amazement. You fight like someone wearing our royal combat suits, she said softly. It is incredible. Evan felt a strange warmth from the suit, almost like pride. Let's keep moving, he said. They walked for several minutes, passing destroyed labs, dark passages, and tilted hallways. The deeper they went, the worse the damage looked. The station groaned with each vibration. Finally, they reached a collapsed corridor. Massive panels were blocking the path. Twisted beams, shattered drones, and broken walls lay everywhere. The core stabilizer room was beyond this point, but the passage was nearly impossible to cross. Evan stared at it. There's no way through. Lyra didn't answer immediately. She scanned the blockage, her face tightening with worry. There is a way, she said quietly, but it is not safe. Evan raised a brow. None of this is safe. Lyra turned to him, her expression serious yet hopeful. The gaps between the collapsed beams are too narrow for me, she said. But the suit can help you. You can move through the small spaces. You can climb where I cannot. I will guide you through the comm link. Evan looked at the maze of debris. It looked like a broken metal mountain with sharp edges everywhere. One wrong move, and the beams could crush him. But the suit pulsed softly, as if telling him he could do it. Lyra stepped closer. Human. Evan, you are the only one who can reach the stabilizer. If we do not get there, the station will collapse, and the suit will fail. He took a deep breath. I'll do it, he said. The suit glowed brighter, and Lyra, who had not smiled since the moment he met her, finally smiled, a small, hopeful smile. Then I will guide you, she said. Evan placed his hand on a beam, and the suit adjusted his grip. He took the first step into the narrow gap. Behind him, Lyra whispered through the comm link, Be careful, human. He didn't look back. He pushed forward, deeper into the maze of twisted metal, ready to face whatever waited on the other side. Evan moved carefully through the narrow corridor of twisted metal. Every step was precise. The suit reacted to the slightest pressure, balancing him over jagged edges and sharp metal. Behind him, Lyra's voice guided him through the comm link, calm and steady. Step over the broken panel to your left. Keep your balance. There is a small gap ahead. He obeyed, letting the suit's strength and agility carry him. His heart pounded, not from fear, but from the thrill of movement and survival. Each motion felt natural, almost as if the suit had become part of him. It pulsed softly with every step, reminding him that it was alive in its own way. When he reached the first chamber, he froze. Drones were swarming inside. Broken beams hung precariously from the ceiling, ready to fall with the slightest vibration. He could hear their red sensors scanning for movement. One wrong step, and the drones would detect him. Lyra's voice broke his focus. Human, you can't fight all of them. The suit can protect you for a short time. But you must move carefully. Avoid detection. Evan took a deep breath. The suit's energy shield formed automatically when a drone's sensor glowed red, deflecting a bolt of electricity aimed at him. He ducked behind a fallen panel and waited for the pattern of the drone's movement. When one passed, he sprinted across the exposed floor, the suit adjusting his speed and grip. Another bolt flew, bouncing off harmlessly. He leaped onto a metal beam and swung across the gap like a trapeze artist. The suit's adaptive functions enhanced every movement. He reached the far side without a scratch. Lyra's voice sounded more relieved than before. I didn't think a human could move that way. You're amazing. Evan felt a thrill of pride, though he didn't have time to enjoy it. The core stabilizer was still far ahead. And the station groaned as if protesting their progress. Sparks rained down from above, and pieces of the ceiling began to collapse in random patterns. The station was falling apart around them. The next corridor was even worse. A massive beam had fallen diagonally, blocking most of the path. The only way through was a narrow ledge along the wall. Evan adjusted his body, feeling the suit's soft pulse under his skin. It extended subtle tendrils that gripped the wall, helping him balance. He inched across, moving slowly but deliberately. One misstep could mean a deadly fall. Midway, a piece of ceiling metal cracked and fell. Evan froze. Then the suit's energy field formed a shield around him instantly. The metal struck the shield and bounced harmlessly to the floor below. Evan exhaled sharply, realizing how much he had come to depend on the suit. It wasn't just protection. It was a partner. It was thinking for him, adjusting to danger, guiding his movements. Finally, he reached the end of the ledge. He dropped down lightly onto a more stable platform and allowed himself a brief glance at Lyra. "I think I can make it," he said, though he knew he had only survived so far because of the suit. "You will make it," she said firmly. "Now, the last section is the hardest. The stabilizer room is just beyond the damaged reactor hall. You'll need both skill and trust in the suit." Evan nodded, tightening his grip on the railing. The reactor hall stretched before him like a canyon of broken metal and electrical hazards. Sparks flew across the floor, and pieces of machinery fell intermittently. Drones patrolled the hall in careful, synchronized movements. One glance, and Evan knew that running straight through was impossible. He took a deep breath. "Suit, I trust you. Lead the way." Almost immediately, the suit's pulses intensified, mapping the safest route through the debris. Evan followed its subtle guidance, ducking under pipes, leaping over broken panels, and weaving through the drones with astonishing agility. Each step felt synchronized with the suit. It was as if they were connected, human and alien technology working as one. Halfway through the reactor hall, a large drone blocked the path. Its red sensors locked onto him. Evan froze. The suit reacted instantly, generating a protective dome around his body. The drone fired bolts that ricocheted harmlessly off the shield. Evan knew he couldn't stay here forever. He timed the drone's next movement and dashed forward. With a swift motion, the suit extended a sharp energy beam from his arm, disabling the drone in a burst of sparks. He kept moving, adrenaline fueling him. Lyra's voice came through the comlink. "Almost there. Just beyond the reactor hall is the stabilizer chamber. You must be careful. Its door is damaged and the sequence to detach the suit requires precision." Evan didn't respond. He didn't need to. The suit guided him instinctively, sensing every vibration, every hazard. They approached the stabilizer chamber. The massive door was tilted and hanging from one hinge. Debris blocked most of the entrance. Evan paused, assessing the situation. He realized he would have to climb and push the door enough to squeeze through. The suit adjusted his posture and reinforced his grip. He climbed the debris, narrowly avoiding falling panels. A drone nearby sensed movement, but the suit's energy pulse created a temporary distraction, causing it to spin and misfire harmlessly into the wall. Evan leaped the last few feet, landed, and crawled into the stabilizer chamber just as a large piece of ceiling fell behind him. Lyra's voice sounded relieved. "You made it." Evan looked around. The room was vast, filled with strange machinery and consoles glowing with alien symbols. At the center was a tall, crystalline pedestal, the core stabilizer. Its surface pulsed with bright energy. He could feel the suit reacting strongly, almost like it recognized the device. Lyra stepped beside him. "This is it. The stabilizer will detach the suit safely, but it requires coordination. You must place your hands on the controls while I activate the sequence. The suit may resist at first. It has bonded with you for survival." Evan swallowed. He looked at the suit's glowing surface. "I've trusted you this far. I'll do it." He placed his hands on the stabilizer controls. Lyra tapped sequences on her panel. The machine hummed and the energy in the room intensified. The suit glowed brighter, pulsing rapidly. Evan felt a tug, almost like the suit was trying to pull him back, refusing to let go. "Evan, stay calm," Lyra shouted. "Focus on your breathing. Trust the sequence." He obeyed, closing his eyes and letting the suit guide him one last time. Slowly, the energy field surrounding him began to retract. The tendrils of light softened and lifted from his skin. He felt the bond loosen gradually, almost painfully. But he didn't resist. Lyra monitored every second, adjusting the stabilizer to prevent any shock to his system. Finally, with a final pulse, the suit detached completely. It hovered momentarily, glowing brightly, and then dissolved into particles of light disappearing into the air. Evan collapsed onto the floor, exhausted. He was alive. The suit was gone. Lyra rushed to him, helping him sit upright. "You did it," she said softly. "You survived. The suit, it chose wisely." Evan looked down at his body. His skin was warm, normal. No traces of the suit remained. Yet he could still feel the memory of its strength, the guidance it gave him like a lingering echo. I can't believe it," he said. "I actually made it." "You did more than make it," Lyra said. "You proved that humans, your species, can do things no one believed possible." He smiled faintly, feeling the weight of her words. For the first time in hours, he allowed himself to relax. The danger wasn't over. The station was still unstable, but he had survived the impossible. They moved to a safer area, where the walls were intact and the floors stable. Lyra examined him carefully, checking for any injuries. "You're strong," she said. "Stronger than any human I've ever seen. The suit amplified it, yes, but you carried it. That is remarkable." Evan laughed weakly. "I guess I had a good partner." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Not just a partner. You and the suit. You became one. That is why it survived. That is why you survived." The room shook as distant sections of the station collapsed. Evan looked around at the chaos outside the stabilizer chamber. Sparks rained down like lightning, and the hum of the station grew louder. "We need to leave," he said. Lyra nodded. "Yes, the station will not last much longer. Follow me. We must reach the escape pod." They moved carefully through the remaining corridors. The suit was gone, but Evan felt stronger, more alert, as if it had left part of its energy with him. Lyra guided him, and he moved faster than he could have on his own. Together, they navigated the crumbling station. Finally, they reached the escape pod bay. Only one pod remained functional. Evan and Lyra climbed in. The pod sealed and launched, shooting through the station's hull into open space. They watched as the research station, the place of their struggle, collapsed into debris behind them. Evan exhaled, finally allowing himself to feel relief. "We made it," he said. Lyra smiled, her crystal-like features softening. "Yes. And you, Evan Hale, became a legend in both our worlds, the human who survived the symbiote suit." He looked at her, realizing something new. Respect, trust, and something else. An unspoken bond had formed between them. Not just human and alien, not just man and machine, but a connection that transcended species. Together they had survived the impossible. As the escape pod drifted through the stars, Evan leaned back and allowed himself to rest. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and wonder. But now he knew something important. Humans could survive the impossible. Humans could rise above fear and uncertainty. And humans, with courage and trust, could achieve things even aliens believed impossible. The journey was far from over, but Evan was ready. Whatever the galaxy held next, he would face it, and he would not face it alone.